Yeah, you can start now.
Hello everybody. This is Lakshmi Madhavi, MD of Mother Agri Biotech. We are a tissue culture teak plant production company based in Chikkaballapur. We give high yielding, disease resistant tissue culture teak clones. This is a patented technology, and we have a proven track record. And our mission is to prevent endangerment of teak plants, reduce global warming, and by encouraging plantation of tissue culture teak plants against the stumps. Because tissue culture teak has a very uniform growth, and they are highly disease and pest resistant and give faster returns, whereas stumps don't give any returns and they don't have a defined period of growth. The mission of our company is to provide farmers across the globe in general and Indian farmers in particular with the best disease resistant, healthy, and high yielding tissue culture teak plants to elevate their economic returns. Most of our what do you call we are an agriculture based company, so I mean agriculture based country. So teak gives maximum returns when compared to any other timber crop, as it is king of timber. So every farmer can actually have very good returns by growing teak along with the rotational crops which they generally grow. And that apart, teak has maximum carbon sequestration, because of which it also reduces global warming. And when we are investing in forestry, always any timber crop gives very maximum returns when compared to a cash crop. So cash crop should be cultivated for the survival, and timber crops should be cultivated so that the economic levels of the individual will be good and economic returns will be good. So nowadays, because carbon credits are also playing a major role in the market, by growing teak, farmers can also have the benefits of getting tied up with other companies and showing their carbon credits. When you see a teak, the micropropagation techniques will actually help in uniform growth and girth. And our trees, right after the eighth year of plantation, they'll be ready for harvest. And they will give around 75% heartwood, and the sapwood will be very, very less. It will hardly be 25%. And our trees, once you harvest after eighth year, minimum of 25 cubic feet of wood per tree would be a return on investment. And in teak, the beauty of the tree is the more you retain the tree, the more girth you get, and more girth means more rate. Since teak is a king of timber, it is because of its properties like disease resistant, pest resistance, water resistant, So it has maximum demand globally. And if we see the present demand of teak across the globe, the world is not meeting 1% of the total demand. So always teak will be the king of timber, and it will be one of the products which is very much on demand globally. If you come to the properties of our trees, the quality of our tissue culture teak are they have fast growth, they are very disease free. If you see the normal conventional plants, they have lot of diseases, and they'll have they'll be disease prone and they may not survive. The mortality will be high. But when you see our tissue culture tea clones, they have maximum growth, they are highly disease resistant, and there will be uniformity in height and girth. The plantations can be done throughout the year. And we suggest 440 plants of tissue culture teak in 1 acre at a distance of 10 feet by 10 feet. So, with this distance, the plantations of the timber crop can be done very well. And apart from this, a farmer who is growing teak can also go in for the intercrops. Intercrops, meaning they can grow any seasonal rotational crops like fruits, flowers, ornamental plants, anything except water plants which demand water stagnation like paddy. So, but for paddy and other water stagnating plants, they can go with any of the seasonal rotational crops so that they get the best yield. When you come to the production of tissue culture, the tissue culture has around the process of production has around 6 stages. One is like selection of the mother plant, then collection of suitable explants, media preparation and sterilization. After the bud formation happens, then it will go with the inoculation and incubation, and followed by the rooting and hardening. And our plants can be grown in any land, whether it is black, red, sandy, loamy. Any soil is suitable for teak, and we give all the related amendments, like how to take care, when to put the fertilizers. Suppose if there are calcium-laden soils, how do we, see that the soil is adjusted in such a way that the tree plant grows properly. So all these silvicultural practices will be supported by us, and when a customer is buying plants, we give them the maximum support so that they get the best yield. And if you see the teak plantation, it can be done throughout the year, and it is suitable, and it comes in grows in out of 198 countries in the world. It will grow in all the 120 tropical and subtropical countries. We give clones which are suitable for the particular agroclimatic condition in which a farmer or farmer is willing to plant. Because if you come to the agroclimatic conditions of this tropical and subtropical countries, there will be around 5 to 9 different agroclimatic conditions, and our clones are suitable for all these conditions. And apart from this, we also, guide the farmers with the best practices so that they'll have minimal expenses with maximum return on investment. Please do contact us. We don't have any branches, agents, or mediators. We directly supply our plants from our Chikkaballapur unit across India, and we also export. So anybody willing to buy teak plants can get in touch with us, and our contact numbers are already mentioned in the slide, but you can also make a note of it. 87904 31313 is the contact number. We'll also share it once again during this presentation. Thank you so much. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, in between there was some stammering. That all you'll be editing, right?
No, there was no staffing.
There was no stammering. I felt like there was.
No, no, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can stop sharing the screen, and if possible, you can come on the video if you're comfortable with it.
Okay.
Uh, So, yeah. Thank you for the presentation, Ms. Lakshmi, and now take up some questions.
Yeah. Um,
Just one second.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the first question is, what are the key benefits of tissue culture teak clones compared to seed grown teak in terms of yield and uniformity?
See, whenever you see the plants which are grown out of seeds, even though all the seeds will be taken per se from a very good tree, which is grown very well, what will happen is every seed has its own character because of its cross pollination. So, if you are planting 100 seeds or 100 seedlings, it is like 100 different characters. There'll not be any uniformity either in the growth or the disease resistance capacity and all, and it will not have the mother plant character in total. But when we are giving you a tissue culture tea clone, the clone is selected based on, I mean, the mother plant is selected based on 60 different parameters, because of which the tissue which we are taking, which will have 100% mother plant characters, will be propagated, and it will be a replica of the mother plant. So, because of which the trees will be highly disease resistant, pest resistant, and there'll be uniformity in growth, irrespective of the number of plants you're planting. And they all will be ready for harvest in a defined period of time.
Okay. Next question is, mm, just once. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you ensure disease resistance and genetic stability in tissue culture teak plants?
Uh, as I mentioned earlier, since we are selecting the mother plant based on 60 different parameters, one of the parameters is checking whether the mother plant was prone to any diseases or any pest attacks. So, if you take a conventional if you check the trees in a spa or any other area, these mother plants will be they'll be standing against all diseases or pest attacks when compared to their plants which are in the same area. So because of that, the parameter, even since we are not modifying the baby plants, since we are not genetically modifying the plants, we are just taking a tissue which is directly from the mother plant. So the mother baby plants also will have the same genetic character, and they'll definitely be disease resistant.
Right. Okay. And what is the ideal spacing, soil, and climate required for achieving maximum productivity?
See, India is one of the seven countries where tea grows naturally. So, to be specific, the Indian climate and soil are naturally suitable for tea growth. So, whether the soil condition is black, red, sandy, loamy, any soil is suitable. In fact, the idea of Mother Biotech is to ensure that tea grows even in areas which are highly calcium laden or barren lands which are just left because there's some lack of nutrients. Even in those places, we give certain amendments with which the plantation can be done. And any climate is suitable. The only thumb rule for growing teak is what there should not be any water stagnation. So, if suppose there are areas like Malnad and other regions where there is lot of rainfall, we suggest certain amendments with which the teak plants can still be grown and there'll not be any problem because of the rain or the water stagnation. And that apart, we also suggest all the silvicultural practices. So, Indian climate and soil is 100% suitable for teak. So, there need not be any second thought for anybody who is interested in growing teak in India.
Okay. And next question is, what is the gestation period and expected returns for farmers investing in teak plantations?
See, our trees, we suggest our customers to harvest after the eighth year of planting. So, if a customer has gone for 440 saplings in 1 acre at an ideal spacing of 10 feet by 10 feet, then after 8th year he can harvest all the trees. And suppose if he wants to still retain the trees, at that time we ask them to cut every alternate tree. Because why we suggest this is teak is a temperature and light demander. So when the spacing is 10 feet by 10 feet, the trees will go straight. They'll have a 70 feet straight bole. But from the third year of planting, they'll have the branches coming up, which will take an umbrella shaped canopy. So, if the canopy is just left like that, even after the 8th year, the trees which are in the center will not get enough sunlight. So they may not grow in girth, and the only the plants in the border will get the sunlight, and they'll start growing in girth. That's the reason we ask our customers to harvest after the 8th year of planting, or harvest every alternate tree and retain the remaining after the 8th year of planting. So this is the ideal time in which they'll be getting very good returns. In 8 years, on an average, the farmer gets around 25 cubic feet of wood. And if they retain for a longer period, the wood volume would be more. And since teak has a very long life, more they retain, more the rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Next question is, what are the major pests and diseases affecting teak and how do they be managed effectively?
See, for our saplings, there'll be, the larvae of these moths and other insects, butterflies, moths, and similar insects. This will be monsoon will be the brooding time for these insects. So during monsoon, the larvae may eat the leaves. So that is one of the major things which may happen. But it can be controlled by hand picking the larvae or by we suggest the fertilizers during our silvicultural guidance to the farmers. And apart from that, there are no other diseases which will actually attack the plants because they are highly disease and pest resistant. If suppose there are lands in which there are existing grubs and other insects, we also guide our customers like how to take care and protect the trees. And if the farmer follows the same, I think he'll not have much difficulty in maintaining the plants, because as I mentioned earlier, there are no major diseases which will actually affect our plants.
What is the cost of planting material and total investment per acre for farmers?
We charge 350 rupees per plant
Hello?
in the domestic. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
we
hear you.
charge. Yeah, yeah. We charge 350 rupees per plant, excluding transport in the domestic market. And if you see the cultivation cost, we project around six and a half lakh per acre over a period of 8 years as the investment portion. And we project around 25 cubic feet of wood per tree for 440 trees. It will be 440 into 25.
Okay.
That is almost around 11,000 cubic feet of wood. Even if
Okay.
a farmer calculates a basic price of 2,000 rupees per cubic feet, he would be getting around 2.2 crore as a return on investment.
Okay. And are there any government schemes or subsidies available for teak plantation?
No, there are no government schemes.
Okay. And how does tissue culture impact the wood quality and market value of teak?
See, the quality of our wood, I mean, the trees is excellent. We got a random testing done of our teak wood after the 8th year of planting. And the density is near matching a 55 to 60-year-old conventional teak tree. And if you see the heartwood formation, it is more than 70% by the time the trees are 8 years old. So in all the ways, the farmer would be getting excellent product with maximum quality and strength. Even the modulus of elasticity and other parameters are matching a very standard, say, 55 to 60-year-old conventional teak tree. So the quality of wood is excellent, and farmers will get the best return on investment.
Okay. And what are the best intercrops that can be grown during initial years of teak cultivation?
We suggest farmers to go with any of the seasonal rotational crops like fruits, flowers, vegetables, ornamental plants, and in areas where farmers grow pepper, vanilla, or beetle, even that can be cultivated throughout the cultivation process. I mean, throughout the retention process of teak trees, and they can also get very good return on investment. And we encourage intercrops because intercrops always help in mutualism, and both the regular crops as well as the timber crops will have very good yield, and the fertility of the land also would be very nice.
Okay. Yes. Now we have the last question. What are the
Yeah.
common mistakes farmers should avoid while adopting tissue culture teak?
See, in general, we ask our farmers to, our customers to follow only the guidelines given by us, because since these are tissue cultured clones, the maintenance part will be very less, very minimal, and we give the suggestions, and if they follow just that, it's more than enough. Suppose, in general, what will happen is, if they follow the processes or the silvicultural practices which they do for a conventional teak, then they would be spending more than required, which we ask them to avoid. So we guide them throughout the cultivation period. So if they just follow our guidelines, it's more than enough.
Okay, so before we close, one last question. Please let us know little about your career background and what made you get into agriculture field and regard how you started the company.
See, I take care of the marketing and the administration. This is the brainchild of my husband. His Balakrishna Mutkuri. He is the scientist and chairman of the company. And it was like he had this quest of going for tissue culture teak because it is a background story. I mean, it is like my father, who was a gold medalist in eucalyptus plantation. He said that nobody could actually produce tissue culture teak, and it's a very difficult plant to be propagated. That's when it came to his mind that he has to do something about this, and from then he started studying about it and doing multiple research and experiments, and that's how he got into this production of teak. Then the first time when we got the tissue culture tea clones, he had entered an agreement with Netherlands governments, and he was also a scientific consultant to Andhra Pradesh Forest Department. So at that time, he had distributed the trees to different farmers. And then after seeing the results, then he started, checking the silvicultural practices, which will actually increase the growth and give more returns than the conventional ones, conventional teak. And that's how this interest developed. Then after seeing the result, then we thought that we should do a commercial launch, and we got a company registered in 2012. And almost from 2016-17, we started giving the trees, distributing the trees. And we have our customers whose trees are 8 years old. We got them tested as well, and we are uh, delivering what we have promised.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's very good to know.
Yeah.
So, okay, Miss Lakshmi, I don't see any more questions. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for the detailed presentation, answering all the questions.
Thank
So
you.
now we'll be ending this meeting. Have a good evening and
You too.
good weekend ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Wish
Thank
you the same. Thank you. Bye.
you. Bye.